Hey guys, I hope you're all having a great day, and today I'm going to be talking about Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. Rogerson, oh my god. I'm really sorry for butchering that name, that was insane. I listened to this as an audiobook and the narrator was Emily Ellett. I did like her narration. It wasn't my favorite, but it was nice, so I really liked it. Her pacing was really good, so I could put the listening to 1.5 speed and it was still really clear, so that was nice. This book surrounds magic, forbidden spells, forbidden magic, enemies to lovers trope, a library of books, so it was right in my alley. I absolutely adored this book. I gave it a 4.5. but I put it a 5 on Goodreads because it deserves more a 5 than a 4, but it is a 4.5 in my opinion. If you don't know what this story is about, it's about Elizabeth Scrivener, who is an orphan who was adopted kind of by the library. I have to context that afterwards. She's grown up her whole life in a library where she wants to become an apprentice to then become a warden. In this world, libraries are sacred because there is magic and there are grimoires, and in these grimoires are people who have put their lives and their magic inside the book, and so the grimoires are kind of alive and they can be dangerous because they've been kept, not enslaved, but closed for so many years without their magic. And so if you free one, it kind of becomes a monster and starts destroying everything because it's kind of not happy that it has been enslaved for so many years and do nothing. Elizabeth has lived her whole life in these libraries, so she kind of knows better how to understand these grimoires. She cannot talk to them, but she talks to them, they don't respond, but they kind of understand her and she understands them. In this world, magic is completely, it's dark, it's evil, it's not good. They have sorcerers and they are mean people, evil people who drink orphans' blood. Like, it's a setup. And Elizabeth obviously believes all of this, and so the grimoires are like, they are supposed to be kept closed because they have magic inside, so they're supposed to guard them and secure them. Something happened that implicates Elizabeth, and everybody believes that she's the perpetrator of the crime that happened, and so she is taken to the capital of justice by sorcerers, and so she's very afraid of it all and she absolutely does not want to go there because she believes that all sorcerers are evil. In her discoveries throughout the story, she has to team up with a sorcerer named Nathaniel Thorn, and she does not want at all to be a part of this because she is very, very scared of him, and but she has no choice to team up with him, and so that's how the enemies to lovers trope kind of sparkle. And yeah, I'm not going to say anything more about the story because I think it's enough for you guys to know if you want to read it or not, because I feel like just with that premise I would totally read this book. So yeah, Elizabeth was such an interesting character because she was so brave and she didn't fear what other people feared. So she was not afraid of grimoires, she was not really afraid of magic, more what sorcerers could do with the magic, but she was more curious and interested than anything else. She was kind of stupid sometimes. She would act without thinking at all of the consequences of her actions and what would people do, and that was kind of funny because she's only 16, so obviously she makes mistakes and she doesn't really think it through when she does certain things, but it was really, really nice to have that realistic side of her. Nathaniel Thorn was a very interesting character because obviously he's the main evil person in the room, and so Elizabeth describes him a lot as an evil person, but what she thinks of him takes over what he really is. So it's easy to see that she would mistake a lot of what he does as evil, even if it's not evil. So that was really funny because he doesn't actually care at all of her and her opinion. So whenever she would react a certain way, he would just be like, so what? What do you want me to do? I don't care. He was a really, really funny character and I really loved him. Another character that I really, really loved is Silas. He is a demon summoned by any sorcerer who wants a demon. In this world, sorcerers can summon demons, and these demons become their kind of slave in exchange of years of life. The world building around the magic system and everything is so interesting. I really loved it. Whenever a sorcerer would claim a demon, you have to bargain years of your life for that demon to become not your slave, but your warden, a person who does whatever you wanted him to do. It's not a slave because you actually bargain years of your life. So it's kind of a big deal. And so it's really interesting to see their relationship in all of this, because you assume that Silas is just there to kill him at the end because he bought years of his life in exchange of servitude. And their relationship is just really, really funny. It's raw. I love it. Elizabeth and Nathaniel's relationship was all over the place. At the beginning, they just don't want to be near each other. Elizabeth, she wants his help, but he doesn't want to help her. And so it's really funny because she never wanted help of a sorcerer, but she finds herself needing him. And she doesn't want to need him, but she has no choice because she doesn't have magic and she cannot defeat the thing alone. For this book, I don't know how many pros and cons. I'll just say them right away. For the pros, I have the storyline was really, really nice. The action and the rest, / non-action, was really well balanced. I really loved it. The way that the story was progressing was really, really interesting. We are only from Elizabeth's point of view, so obviously you don't see everything, but it was really interesting. Sometimes there would be some downtimes, but with actual content that was actually needed for the story to develop and the relationships and the characters to develop. So it was really nice. Whenever you wouldn't have action, you'd have character development. So that was really, really nice. My second pro would be the world building. The way that it was described, it looked so good. It looked insane. The way that the great libraries were described, they looked magnificent. Like that thing that I don't remember its name, but it looked, in my head, it looked like that, and it was just so impressive and just, I loved it. My third pro is the magic system and everything surrounding magic and the grimoires and everything. It is so nice, and it's not special. It's not a magic that we've never seen before, but it's just really interesting. Everything with the grimoires is really, really interesting. The way that the magic works inside of them is so interesting, and you don't get to know much about it until near the end of the book. So it's really nice because you do want to know how they work and how everything is supposed to be working together. So I found it really, really interesting. My con for this book, it's not about the book. Actually, it's more about the audiobook. One of the reasons why I didn't give it a full 5 stars was because sometimes the sound would change in the audiobook, where it would sound like a bit echoey or under the water, and I would not understand much of what was told in that part. It would mostly be just 1 or 2 sentences, and I didn't know why that happened, and it bugged me a lot because I had to go back and listen to it because it was so weird and fuzzy. And anyways, so it's not about the book itself, but it's more my own but my own experience with the book. And sometimes she would do some voices that I was not enjoying at all. Sometimes the Silas is a demon, so he speaks in not a strange way, but a different way than a human would sound like. And he would sound not, I didn't like it. I did not like it. He would whisper, and I didn't like it. It sounded too much in my ears, and I was not up for that. Overall, I really love this book. I would recommend it to anyone who likes fantasy, magic, and a good love story because it is good. The ending was very satisfying and heartbreaking. So I think it's a good combo. I don't think it was a bit predictable, but it did not bug me. I didn't care that it was a little bit predictable. I predicted like one thing, and honestly, I predict nothing in the books. So just the fact that I predicted one thing was kind of fine, but I don't care when I predict some things. It's a problem if I can predict the whole story, but if it's just one small thing in a subsequence of the book, I don't care. So that was it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you have read this book, what you thought of it. If you haven't, well, are you going to read it? Did I convince you? I would really like to know. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and I will see you guys next week. Goodbye.